Welcome, race fans, to the Australian Institute of Motorsport 2014 New South Wales Formula V State Championship. Round 1, Race 2, Wakefield Park Raceway. The starting grid is the result of yesterday's finishing order. Thomas won it with Timmy Brook in the brand new Jacer second. Simon Pace from the very fast James Horn, Darren Williams, Stevie Butcher, Michael Kinsella, Morgan Fremantle, and we're away!
And big puffs of black smoke in this misty Sunday morning.
Thomas has missed a gear.
He has, and he's dropping back. One car, that's the new Jacer, takes to the front with James Horn in the Polar in second, Simon Pace in third, Stephen Butcher in fourth as they go round.
Morgan Fremantle having a cracking start up there in fifth.
Into the fog as they go. Look at this huge pack of cars. How many?
34 entries started this race, or as Ray Folletti might say, 400.
Yeah, 400 cars going up the hill towards the right-hander at the top.
Here's the start with Dylan Thomas. He grabs first. No problem. Second. There's no second. Where's second?
Look at the mist. The mist through, and you can just see the sun sort of peering through the mist as Darren Williams goes through in the newly painted Jacer. Then Michael Kinsella through in the blue and white card. Back down the hill.
Timmy Brook leads it down through from the top of the hill in the brand new, very well presented Jacer with the fancy rear end shock system. There's
Adam Brook.
Adam Brook in the Aurora.
The new Aurora, okay.
Timmy Brook's got about 2 or 3 car lengths on James Horn.
Right.
James Horn has been so fast all weekend. Right. In the practice in the wet on Friday, he was blindingly fast.
And he's got that extra speed as the cars go through the fish hook now at the bottom of the hill, and they're heading on towards the back straight.
Okay, and also coming through the photo there was Andy Goodall in the brand new AIM Super V.
Right, coming at the end of the back straight onto the straight, last corner here.
Look at this fog. The drivers would barely be able to see through this.
Right, you don't get to see too many race meetings actually start in these sort of conditions, so this is a great new view to motorsport.
Yeah, well, normally they don't start a race until one flag point can see the next, but with this track operating off lights, it's probably a little bit of an advantage. Here they come down the straight.
Right, down the main straight, Tim Brook in the lead.
The top 3 have got about 500 metres.
Right, James Horn second place, Simon Pace third place.
Morgan Fremantle was in fourth until Stevie Butcher dived up the inside, and Darren Williams wants to go with him but can't.
Right, you can see the white Jacer that went through there. That's Darren Williams in his new paint scheme. It's very noticeable through this pack of cars in the fog.
There was Clem Farmer's old car coming through with a new guy, Craig Sparks, in it.
Yes,
doing a fantastic job.
That's right. We had quite a few rookies in the first race yesterday doing extremely well. Jacob Andrews, Craig Spark, Richard Jefford.
Matty Bode.
And doing well.
Okay, that's a new Sabre 02 for Daniel Stein. He's struggling a little bit with it this weekend. He thought he'd be a bit further up. Where's the rest of the field? Well, these front 3 guys are running away with it early on. They're
pulling away. There's Steve Butcher and Darren Williams, and there's Kinsella just in front of Bruce Pearce, I think.
Is that Bruce Pearce that far up?
No, well, it could be. He's a very fast driver. Actually, it was
former state champion.
It was Daniel Stein, of course, in the orange car.
There was the AIM Australian Institute of Motorsport Super V.
Right, yeah, you could probably see it. It's a very interesting car. It's very innovative with these devices on the front and the back of the car. People think they're wings, but they're not. They're just aerodynamic blades to control the air around the tyres.
There's Alan Harrison going through there. There's Richard Jeffrey, Gary Hook there.
There's the AIM car, of course, going through.
Okay.
Now, that was Matt Pearce, the first of the 1200 cars. Matt's swapped cars with his dad.
Yep.
And Bruce, his dad's going to run the 1600 car, and Matt the
James
1200
Horn
car.
Up the inside of Timmy Brook.
And Horn takes the lead past Tim Brook. Look at Horn's speed in these cool, very damp
massive
conditions.
Gap here, and there's Thomas through to fourth.
Thomas, where did he must have made 4 positions in this half a lap.
Oh,
He's taken Steve Butcher.
Yeah, he must have, because he was in about 8th place coming out of the fish hook, so there must have been a mistake or a bit of a bobble there from someone that allowed him to get through a group.
Well, that was CXC car taking CXC car, and there's about, how many other cars, CXC cars in this field? About 10, 15?
Yeah, there's, I think, about a quarter of the field.
Right.
There's actually a gesture that CXC driver Thomas to Butcher make as they go past each other every time they pass each other on track.
Does that involve 2 or 3 fingers at all?
It's just a little wave out the car.
A wave, that's okay. James Horn, the speed, he's got smooth speed around corners and down the straights.
That's a big gap here. See if Thomas can catch these guys.
Right, well, he's not that far behind, though.
There you go, there's Craig Sparks up the inside of Brodie Tilbrook, followed by Bruce Perry.
And that was Adam Brook in the Aurora. There's Gary Hook in the sky blue car going through. Gary making the incredible trip down from North Queensland, about 4,000 kilometres north of this track, just to race with his mates.
Yeah, well, he's a fly-in driver these days with Chris Reynolds looking after the car. There's a dive up the inside from Daniel Stein, up the inside of Jeff Bennett.
Jeff Bennett in the orange Jacer, so orange Sabre ahead of orange Jacer. Back to the main straight. Horn has got a solid, held this lead solidly ahead of with Tim Brook in the sky blue Jacer.
Like I said,
and
James
Simon
Horn
Pace.
is pulling away. James Horn has been fast all weekend here.
Right.
That's Simon Thompson at the back of that group there. Fastest last year's 1200. Who's that big drift there?
That
from
was Craig Spark, hanging the tail.
Might need to look at doing a bit of a setup change to that car if he's going to drift the back of the car like that. It's not fast, looks cool.
Right, so
but yeah,
down the hill we go through the mist.
Simon Pace, the fastest of the rookies, or the furthest forward of the rookies.
Simon Thompson, that is it, in the
Simon
1600
Thompson.
class? Yeah, of course. Simon Pace is definitely no rookie. Here he is in third place in the red Mako, harrowing the back of the F2K14 Jason, driven by Tim Brook.
Coincidentally, Simon Pace put his old motor back in the car. He put a new motor in, and he didn't feel as comfortable with it as the old motor, so went back to his previous motor.
And that engine swap was done at the track, was it?
No, they did a test day before the race weekend.
Okay, they're very well prepared. I know Simon Pace, he said to me, he would love to win this championship, and he's one of the top drivers that certainly could be a winner at the end of the year.
There you go. Thomas has made a gap here to Kinsella, so he's in the front three.
Thomas started on pole. He dropped back to 8th place after he missed second gear, and so he had to go first to third
There
off
was Alan
the line.
Harrison coming through, doing a good job.
Right, and Thomas has gone from 8th, and halfway through this race, he's up to 4th, and he's closing that gap back to 3rd place very quickly.
A whole bunch of CXC cars together there with Jacob Andrews as well as Matty Bode. And
we got Alan Harrison with
inside.
CXC, we got Simon Thompson with CXC, we got Dylan Thomas with CXC, and we got Stephen Butcher with CXC. That makes us seven CXC cars.
And there's also Simon Thompson.
Yep, got him.
Matt Bode.
Got him.
Okay, there's a few of them.
So that's seven
Timmy Brooks got CXC as well.
Well, he on his helmet and race suit.
And his car.
Has he? Okay, so that makes 8, although that's not the Stinger, of course. Now,
Harrison's not a Stinger either.
No, that's right, but they look the same.
Anyway, so he's James Horn doing an awesome job this weekend. Timmy Brook also punching above the car's weight at the moment because the car's a little bit off the pace and he's still running around the front. So
there's another
he's doing
camera
a great
angle.
job.
Another camera angle as we go through the fish hook.
Okay, there's Jeff Bennett, a little front left lock up on Morgo.
Right, Jeff's actually getting closer towards the front.
That
there
is Bruce Perry running around. Bruce Pearce running at the front in that group there. Bruce Pearce is doing an awesome job.
He is.
There's a little lock up on the inside. I think that was Alan Harrison coming up the inside of Gary Hook there.
Right, that's a view of the cars coming onto the back straight and through the last corner and then onto the main straight as they cross the line.
Okay, see if we can try and catch some of these cars here. There's Brody Tilbrook, followed by Bruce Perry, followed by, I think that was the AIM.
It's pretty hard to tell, actually.
Yeah, the fog's not helping.
Looks like the fog's getting worse. This is getting really hard to tell who's who.
I think that was Jacob Andrews going through in the. Okay, here's more.
Simon Pace for second place.
Yes.
He's got the slipstream down the inside through the kink, turn number 1.
These front three have actually been very smart. Quite tactical racing in Formula V. It's good to actually pull a gap to the field, not fight too much early, create a gap, and then start to fight for positions a bit later on. And the front three have been pretty smart.
Now this is a new camera angle that we've gone. You've got to go right off the beaten track to get close to the track up the top of the hill here. So it looks great. We can see cars from.
That's a great looking car, Jason.
It is, and a great look for all the cars. The Formula V's in New South Wales have got to be the best presented racing cars in the world.
Okay,
of course.
so you've got James Horn, Simon Pace, Timmy Brook, Little Gap Thomas,
Dylan Thomas catching.
Then you've got Kinsella, Darren Williams, Butcher. Then you've got Jeff Bennett. Sorry, no, that was who was that? It was Daniel Stein.
Mate, there are so many orange sleek-looking cars; it's hard to tell.
New liveries, just trying to get used to the new liveries. So it was. Who's that getting?
That looks like the Aurora. It looks like the leaders are catching the Aurora. The Aurora's obviously the new Aurora that Adam Brook and his dad Eddie have been spending years to build, and it looks absolutely fabulous. Hopefully we'll get a really close-up look.
Simon Pace up the inside of James Horn for the lead.
Pace to take the lead. Pace has got pace, of course.
Of course he's got pace.
Always has had. Now there's Butcher down the inside of Adam Brook in the Aurora.
Okay, Butcher wishes it was him because he's not that far up. So
sorry, I mean Dylan Thomas, not Butcher. All these CXC Stingers look the same, except one's a lot faster than the other.
Coming through on, I think that was Morgan.
Oh, great look here of the Mako, the Polar, and the brand new F2K14
You can see the CXC signage on the side of that car there.
That's
as
right.
Well. Thomas is with them now. Kinsella and that are closer too. Kinsella and Williams have pulled for gap on Butcher.
Right, it's worth mentioning Michael Kinsella is racing at state championship level for the first time in several years, other than
and a lock
national
up
level.
On Q, Kinsella.
Yeah, that was Kinsella locking up. He's got his fabulous Jacer.
Okay, there's the Sabre 02 and
locking up
Bennett,
again.
Morgo.
Locking
Bruce
up again.
Pearce.
Tilbrook's locking up.
They're all locking up.
That's right. They all are. They're going
There's
hard.
Craig Sparks. I think this one is... That's Simon Thompson. He's dropped back a bit.
Gary Hook in the Sky Blue Jacer.
Okay, that's Batty Bode and then Jacob Andrews.
Right. Back to the front. Pace still got the front. Thomas right on the tail of the F2K14 Jacer, driven by Tim Brook. Thomas, brilliant drive.
We've still got half the race to go.
Yeah, well, don't you think that's brilliant driving?
Oh, fabulous.
No doubt.
Bruce Pearce, followed by... That looked like it wasn't, though, because he's not entered. I thought for a second there was the Mako of Johnny Mack.
Right, now hang on. This is...
Four cars.
James Horn taking the lead off Simon Pace, and Tim Brook nearly got the lead. Dylan Thomas up the inside of Tim Brook.
You're not going to go around the outside up that way.
Well, you never know.
Daniel Stein.
Steiny.
Whoa, he almost got hit. The Aurora had to go to the grass.
Great responses from everyone, including Daniel to get first gear and pull out of
Thompson comes
offline.
through after all the mess.
Right, Horn back to the front, and that's Simon Pace. He held his second place up the hill from Tim Brook, and Dylan Thomas right on the tail of this fast pack of three leading cars.
That orange helmet of Timmy Brook stands out beautifully on that blue of that Jason.
And Dylan Thomas down the inside of Tim Brook. Was he...
there was a couple of years ago, Thomas went down the inside of Brook and took him out, so I think Brook might have gave him a bit of space this time around.
Very wary of Dylan Thomas, is he?
Yeah, a bit of a wild character.
Why
Thomas.
do you think?
Bit of a wild character. There's Brody Tilbrook, who was awesome here last year at the end of the year.
I wouldn't say... Dylan Thomas, to me, has got to be the safest, greatest driver of all time, surely.
So Horn. Pace, Thomas...
It looks like that was Darren Williams. Looks like they're actually catching the lead cars.
Yeah, and was he ahead of Kinsella there as well?
Maybe so, yes, I think so. There's Brody Tilbrook going around in the Sabre.
Brody Tilbrook was lightning fast here in the last couple of rounds last year. Oh, who's this off the field?
He's gone wide.
Oh, it's Sparks.
Craig Spark
in the old Clem Farmer Jacer.
That's right. Back to the front.
Oh, Thomas has lost some ground.
He has...
He's
lost a bit of ground.
Was that on the pass on to Timmy Brook and then not?
Well, they're all going down the inside of Bruce Pearce in the 1600 Jacer there by the look of it.
Okay, so there's that's Bruce Pearce up the inside of Morgo with Brody Tilbrook right on his tail, followed by Bruce Perry and Daniel Stein making ground back after a spin at this corner.
Right, Daniel Stein in his new Sabre, of course. Back to the front, James Horn, Simon Pace made incredible driving through these really fast third gear corners, back up to fourth gear through the kink here. That is flat out.
A little bit different line there to James Horn there.
Right, that's really fast right-hand kink down the hill, of course.
So it is Darren Williams in front of Kinsella.
Yeah, Darren Williams, great driving here.
He's all over.
Going through the pack here. He's actually getting closer to the leaders here.
Okay, and there's two orange cars.
That was Jeff Bennett and Daniel Stein, I think.
There's another orange car there.
Right, Bruce Pearce in the white car. No, that was Daniel Stein in the orange car after his spin. That's right.
Yeah, okay, so this is...
that's Gary Hook there in the sky blue car.
Matt Bode followed.
Matt Bode in the CXE Stinger. Back to the front, coming on to the main straight.
Okay, they've got a 1200 here in tow. That's not going to get much of a tow.
Right, here they are, slipstream off to the right-hand side, down the main straight. We have another look back to the back straight, the last corner here. There was Brody Tilbrook just at the back of that short pack of cars. Bruce Pearce, Daniel Stein. Now, Daniel, he's going to want to take Bruce Pearce, which he does. He won't. He's a very impatient driver and very fast young man.
That was Gary Hook going through. I think he had a DNF in the first race.
Well, not quite yet, so we'll wait and see. Back straight of cars, let's see. It's hard to tell all these.
That's Lee McGarvey having another... Spinner, come in, Spinner. That's Matty Bode.
Matty Bode. It was good to get a mention of Lee McGarvey. We should at the very least. He's a great Formula V competitor.
What do you mean was? Still is.
But he doesn't race as much as we would love to see him on the track, of course.
Got the fastest lap at Eastern Creek during one of the races in one of his probably last appearances, which was a few years ago.
That's right, so we know he's a front-running car.
Okay, coming through the field here. I'm confused by these couple of orange cars here. I'm trying to work out. I know one of them is Bruce Pearce. I'm trying to work out who the other one is.
Well, we are going to the leaders and going back through the field and back to the leaders. Okay, so we're trying to get everyone we can in here.
Pace is all over James Horn and has been for most of this race.
Right, great looking close-up of James Horn with his new colour scheme, or with a lot more black on it than his sky blue from last year.
Timmy Brooks seems to be dropping back a car length or two, and Kinsella's passed Darren Williams again.
Now that's Simon Pace and Dylan Thomas in third place. Yes.
Oh, there's a car on the inside. I think that's the Aurora.
That's the Aurora who's
sitting on the side there. I think think he's had an issue.
Pulled over. That is the first DNF of an Aurora, I think, ever in the several years of Aurora racing. Although, unfortunately, that's in with his new Mark II Aurora, which looks fabulous, and hopefully we'll get a close-up of it at some stage.
Oh, here's Simon Cannon.
Stephen Cannon here.
Stephen Cannon.
That's right, about to be lapped. Stephen Cannon in the old-style Formula V Nimbus.
They keep going. They'll probably get up to... there's someone else I was thinking of that I've just lost my name of.
Matt Pearce, are you thinking of at all? The lead 1200 car out there at the moment.
No, I was thinking of Steve Wood, actually.
Okay, Steve Woody.
Steve Wood's here for the state round.
In the Spirit. Hopefully we'll get a good close look of his car. The leaders go inside Stephen Cannon.
Yeah, it looked a bit tight there for a moment.
Right, James Horn still got the lead ahead of Simon Pace in the Mako and Dylan Thomas in the...
Bit of curb there from Butcher.
CXC Singer further up the pack as the pack of cars, the chain and train of hundreds of Formula Vs go through turn 2 here.
Okay, it's a bit of a dirty track here this weekend. You can see on the outside of turn 2 there's a lot of dirt on the exit, and you wouldn't want to put two wheels there, otherwise you'll be spearing off.
Right, that was a close-up of the number 68 CXC Stinger.
Here's Steve Wood just coming up. The leaders are coming up to Steve Wood here.
There he is, in the yellow and white Spirit. Stephen Wood, a great Formula V competitor.
He must be running second in the 1200s currently.
And I think he is, and of course he drives all over Australia and puts on a really good show for Formula V New South Wales.
Obviously leading the 1200s at the moment is Matty Pearce, who's a seasoned campaigner and doing a fantastic job in the great car that his father Bruce Pearce won a couple of championships.
Lepton 1200 Formula V. How many championships has that one? Countless number.
Thomas having a look there at Pace. Now he's going to look at the run down the thinger, but he might have compromised his exit.
I wonder...
there you go. Here's someone coming up the inside. It looks like it could be Jeff Bennett. No, Bruce Pearce.
All right, we'll get a look at the cars going through. Let's see.
I think it was passing the lap Peter McDonald.
Okay, Daniel Stein. There's Bruce Perry. And back to the leaders.
Thomas coming up the inside of Simon Pace here.
Thomas,
no.
Is he going to get second place? No, from 8th up to 3rd still, having a go at second.
Yeah, still got a couple of laps to go here, so there's still time here. Right. Timmy Brooks falling back into the grips of Michael Kinsella, Darren Williams and Stevie Butcher.
Yeah, there was a gap. The gap between Tim Brook in 4th and Dylan Thomas in 3rd is getting longer and longer, so Tim Brook, probably some tuning problems in these conditions, I'd say.
Well, he was strong early. He led the race for the first 3 or 4 laps, so maybe it's a little bit of a tyre issue. Here you go, Thomas
down
up the inside.
And he grabbed second place off Simon Pace. Second place, that's 6 cars he's made up through in these few laps of racing.
Butcher was having a look at Darren Williams there, but didn't quite make it come off. Oh, another lock-up, Jeff Bennett.
Lock-up of Bennett, and that's Pearce and Morgo, Brody Tilbrook. It's hard to tell.
Peter McDonald, he's Daniel Stein coming back through. Followed by Simon Pace, Bruce Perry, and I missed the last one.
Hard to tell from that look. That's a long shot back through the mist. Okay. Right, James Horn still got a good gap to keep the lead. And
looked like he was going to have a look down the straight there.
Dylan Thomas is still in second place.
Okay, there's Stevie Wood and Stevie Cannon, not that far apart in the 1200 battle for second. Bernie Cannon. It should be noted that he would normally be at the front of the 1200s, but had an engine failure and went home early.
So he's not on the track at all.
He hasn't gone home early. He's supporting his son Stephen, but he's not on the track racing.
Well, the car's gone home into its trailer early. That's probably one way of putting it. And that's unfortunately broke a crankshaft, and he's had to miss out for the first round to get points in the 1200 championship.
Yeah, which hurts the whole year really. Here comes it's onto the 1200. So I thought Bennett was doing something special, but. It is special passing a big wide carb like that one.
Right. We saw Stephen Wood in the Spirit and Stephen Cannon, in the Nimbus.
That was Matty Bode, I think, getting pushed wide.
But still foot on the throttle.
Or maybe he just left it out. Now, Matty Bode's had a couple of spins in this race, so he's back a bit. And Kinsella's all over the back of Timmy Brook.
So that's the Mark III Jacer against the Mark IV K14 Jacer. So great performance from Michael Kinsella.
In fact, what is it? The car of Jeff Bennett's doing pretty well there on his own. He's running really, really strongly there.
This is probably one of Jeff Bennett's best races I've ever seen. It's great stuff.
You've got that lead group of about 6 cars with a little gap in between.
Dylan Thomas right on the back of the leader, James Horn. Dylan Thomas, he must have made an extra 400 metres in this race after having dropped back so far off the line.
extra 400 metres.
At least 400 metres.
Maybe
more.
Maybe you went around that new extension of the circuit.
That's right. Now Dylan Thomas, he's got the slipstream. He's taken the lead from 8th to the lead. And James Horn, he hasn't put a wheel wrong all race. And
all weekend. Wide Matty Bode. Letting Kinsella and Timmy Brooks. Kinsella's through on Timmy Brooks.
Kinsella's through on Timmy Brooks. So we've got
Jeff
positions
Bennett,
being chased.
Brody Tilbrook up the inside of Morgan Fremantle.
Mate, you've got lots of guys up here in the top 10 that have got great performances. Like Jeff Bennett and Morgo and Michael Kinsella.
Steve Wood was also having a go there at Steve Cannon there, so he's caught him too.
We're trying to get everyone's name mentioned, and we're going from the front to the back to the back to the front to the middle.
Three wide. Looks like Matty Bode again getting pushed wide. Or is that maybe Jacob Andrews on that occasion?
Right, now we just saw the Australian Institute of Motorsport Super V, a flash of that. Looks like the leader's about to catch up to Andy. Now, we know he's had all sorts of, teething, tuning problems in their first race meeting.
Well, they had a lazy valve spring, which actually bent a valve, so they're actually running down on quite a lot of compression now.
Yeah, we should expect Andy Goodall, the Mr. Australian Institute of Motorsport, to be much further to the front, but they'll get that car sorted at the next race, between now and the next race meeting.
Bruce Perry having a nice dive up the inside of Steve Wood.
That was Richard Jefford.
There it is. There's the Australian Institute of Motorsport car getting passed by the leaders, but as we say, it's down on power with the bent valve.
And the feedback we've got from all the other competitors, a look at the quality of that car and just ooze at how beautifully made it is.
The whole body's been done with carbon fibre, which is just fabulous.
And also, it's been done beautifully by I think top quality fiberglass people, probably up here in Sydney, maybe.
I suggest some of the front, actually all of the front group couldn't drive that car with a front wing because look how close they are. There's no way that front wing would stay on.
That's right. Well, the front aerodynamic devices.
James Horn, you're not going to go around the outside too.
James Horn, he's been on it all race. He hasn't put a wheel wrong, and he's had to use every bit of skill and every bit of driving ability and everything out of that car to keep Dylan Thomas
Simon
close.
Pace is all over the back of James Horn now.
He hasn't lost a metre since Dylan Thomas passed him. Now Dylan Thomas caught them.
James Horn in the wet on Friday practice.
Look at this. Is he going around the outside of Dylan Thomas? So Dylan's defending to keep James Horn and Simon Pace out.
Darren Williams in front of
I'm having trouble breathing here. I'm losing my breath.
There's Andy Goodall coming through, followed by that's Daniel Stein making his way back through. I think he got past through Jeff Bennett, who we were saying earlier was doing a fabulous race.
Right, we've got that many rookies in this race.
There was Matty Pearce, the lead 1200.
There's Richard Jefford in the orange car on the outside, just being taken by the leaders. Richard, he's kept out the leaders for almost a whole lap. That's how fast he's driving in this is only his second ever race on a circuit.
Okay, and there's the AIM Institute of Motorsport car, followed by Stein. Last lap.
Yeah, we're coming up now. You can see
here you go.
Matty Pearce, the first 1200 car, but Dylan Thomas and nose to tail, wheel to wheel with James Horn.
James Horn gets the run, but Thomas does the traditional inside line blocking manoeuvre. If you want to go to the lead, you're going to have to go the long way around.
Right, so we go last lap, 1, 2 and 3 going up the hill, now coming down the hill, flat in third, a flat change up to fourth gear through the key.
Passing opportunity into the fishhook.
But we'll see, will James Horn get close enough to Dylan Thomas?
Okay,
we'll see that in a second.
Kinsella's pulled margin here as well.
And Dylan defends. Now Simon Pace down the... No, Simon can't get third place from James Horn.
With that defending, that could slow Thomas on the exit. It could give James Horn an opportunity to go up the inside into the final corner. He's all over him.
Now, Matt,
there's a 1200 in the way. This could cause...
The leading 1200, Matt Pearce, he won't want to lose space, but
Thomas
he moves over. Right, first, second and third through the last corner.
Okay, is James Horn going to do the over and under? Has Thomas got the run?
Has he? We'll see in a second. Who can tell? And, we've gone back to the rest of the field, so we'll see in a moment who the winners are. But 1, 2, 3, 4 Formula Vs.
Bruce Pearce, Morgo.
And over the line.
Thomas, is he going to... He's got it. Thomas has got it.
1, 2, 3, and James Horn can't do it.
Didn't pull out early enough, didn't have the toe early enough.
Dylan Thomas wins after...
fourth.
All these cars.
Timmy Brook fifth. Darren Williams
fourth. Stephen Butch fifth. There's Richard Jefford going over the line in his 1200 rookie race.
Okay, there looks like Matty Bode, but he's a lap down after a couple of spins. Daniel
Stein, great performance. Jeff Bennett, great performance.
There's Andy Goodall, a lap down.
Here we go. So, first place, the great drive, Dylan Thomas. Second, James Horn, Simon Pace, Michael Kinsella, Tim Brook, Darren Williams, Stephen Butcher in seventh, Jeff Bennett in eighth. And the 1200s?
Okay, the 1200s, Matty Pearce led it home by margin by Stevie Cannon and Steve Wood. Had a great battle for second and third, and Peter McDonald rounded out the top four.
Oh.